people one message, what would it be?
I'm serious. I would talk about the Holocaust to like the people that believe the Holocaust didn't happen. Because you know there's people that don't believe the Holocaust happened. I would like try to convince them that the Holocaust did happen.
Who else? Who else?
Oh, me?
Yeah, what did you say?
You ever seen a thing on YouTube called Fool Me the Squirrel?
Mm.
No? There's a guy, he's like, well, he makes cartoons and he uses a squirrel. He's basically getting political, like, wake-up calls and humanity wake-up calls, like all these things that people are so hung up on that they don't need to be. I'd be that person. It's like a wake-up call person.
Okay, you would use it as a wake-up call, and it sounds like an important.
I was talking about like a lot of things.
A lot of different things.
Yeah, like everything, pretty much.
I agree with what Megan said earlier, like, just say stuff that's always been on your mind, or you said, no one ever wanted to listen and talk about it.
Okay.
I'll listen to you,
Let
Megan.
me ask you guys this. So what if instead of a large group of people, what if instead of a large crowd,
It's gonna make it quiet.
it was your best friend?
No.
And this was the last thing you could tell them.
I would tell them how much I appreciate the friendship and how much they mean to me and how much
I would tell them a lot. Like, this is just one thing I would say.
Okay. You're telling them a lot of different things?
Yeah.
This is the last time you saw them?
Forever?
Yeah.
Like, they die the next day?
Or you did.
Or
You
we
saw them
die?
again.
I'll tell them a lot.
I will tell her that our 8 years of friendship meant a lot to me.
I wouldn't say anything. I do a lot of stuff like that.
The one thing you would tell this person.
Bye.
Thank you.
you.
I'll never forget them.
Thank you. But just to thank you.
What'd you say? He knows. What'd you say? What'd you say?
Brianna knew she said you should tell him
We love
We.
big faces.
she included herself to someone else in the world. She said we.
Whoa! Alright. Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys know what we're called to do? What Jesus calls us to do?
Go and preach the word of God to everyone.
Okay, to go and preach the
Make
word.
fishers of men.
To make fishers of men.
What is it?
No, no, yeah, you got it.
To make disciples of all nations.
Make disciples of all nations, okay.
What does that mean?
Make disciples of all nations.
Basically get everyone from all around the world to believe.
Making disciples of all nations is when Jesus took his disciples, he taught them what they knew. He basically used them to start spreading the gospel. And what we're supposed to do is teach others how to do that too. You know, we're supposed to teach others how to witness, how to start spreading the good news. And that discipleship is something that grows exponentially. If you keep on sharing the gospel with people, teach them, bring them up how to do it, that's discipleship. So when he says make disciples of all nations, he's saying to spread the gospel, to help other people learn also how to spread the gospel. Basically what that means. Does anybody have a Bible or a Bible app?
No.
Yes.
My phone.
Not a Bible ready. Or we can look up Mark 16:15. Read it for me.
Mark what?
16:15.
Got it. Okay, Chris is gonna read it. 15.
Then he said to them, go into all the world and preach the gospel to the whole creation.
What do you think that means?
What?
What is God saying there? Or Jesus, what is Jesus saying there?
To preach the word of God to everyone.
What did you say?
So would you guys change your answers from the questions from before?
I was playing around with that one.
When you reminded of that verse, would you change your answer? What would you tell your friend if you didn't know about Jesus? What would you tell him?
But I didn't know.
If he didn't know about Jesus.
They didn't know. If I didn't know.
Chris is going to
Chris said he'll tell him about Jesus.
Okay.
If I didn't know or they didn't know.
Good
They
baby.
didn't know.
They didn't know.
They didn't know about this.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and they're my friend.
Yes.
I would still tell them everything I could tell before. I was gonna tell them like how she makes me stuff, and I was gonna tell about Jesus.
I would, in the end, add God bless you.
If I wasn't so like nervous and stuff all the time, I would.
Who here? Raise your hands if you go to Lato High School. Or if you went to Lato High School.
You go next year.
Maybe that's gonna be
Where
application.
do you go now? You guys know that at Lato, there's, I think the last time they took the count, there's 1,655 students there.
68.
68.
Sorry.
You counted them all?
No, we just get reminded.
Alright,
I
Justin,
never
so,
knew that.
so out of those 1,658 students,
68.
how many of those students, it's about 1,600.
Yes, that is true.
How many of those students have you told about Jesus?
I can say it's
Christian.
5.
Probably like,
One.
50 to
About 3. 50 to 100. That's
And
my
it's all my friends.
It's okay.
Do my Twitter friends count?
Oh, you know how much money?
Well,
Like
I have
you-
Twitter, my Twitter, and I have like 500 something followers. So,
Have you told them about Jesus?
yeah.
Chris, where do you go? Roland Park, there is over 530 kids. in
You
there.
know this? About when?
Does anybody go to 866?
There's not that many people on it.
There's like 55 8th graders.
HCC, nobody?
I'm enrolled there, technically.
Just for selling.
At HCC, there's 27,000 kids.
You're gonna die.
USF, there's 40,000. In Tampa alone, there's 346,037 people. Last time they took count. Out of those 27,000, Justin, listen up. Out of those 27,000 people, I've only told maybe 12 kids about about Jesus. At USF, I haven't told anybody yet. In Tampa, probably the same number. You know, how many students have you guys shared about Jesus at your own school? I don't know what school all of you go to, but
Like just at Lato or like all your school life?
anywhere all over Tampa.
Like probably
All my friends.
30, 45.
Love you guys' honesty.
So,
Really awesome.
so I have a question. Do you mean like tell them about Jesus or like make them believe?
Just tell them about
Just
Jesus.
like
I
say
had
Tell
that
them,
phase.
tell them what Jesus did for them.
You know that phase
What
where
it
you shove your
means,
religion
and
down
what they
people's
have to do
throat? I
to get
had
to
that.
heaven.
It was like my
What they have to do to get to
That
heaven.
was my sixth session because that was the
What
first
they
time I
have
met an
to do to
atheist.
get to heaven.
Oh,
Those sort of things.
Like one, probably.
One.
what do you mean? But like I talk about him, like that'd be like 50.
Do you guys want to tell people about Jesus? Is it in your hearts to tell
Yeah.
people about Jesus?
Yeah, but then people will think I'm weird.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some people who will just like shut you out, and then other people they'll just judge you right away. They'll just be like, this person mentioned Jesus one time when they were just like their phone broke. I'm not gonna discuss with them anymore because
So
they would
what's-
just shove it down.
What's keeping you from doing it then?
Rejection.
People.
Rejection?
My work is just I don't want them to get in
Humiliation.
trouble.
You don't want to
I don't
do
want them to get loud.
No, them saying that.
it. You said you're nervous.
I'll do whatever.
Claudia, you said you're nervous that.
She says she doesn't want people to think she's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, like when I tell people, will be like, yeah, I go to church. They're like, you go to church? Like, yeah, why not? And then like, I go to Bible study too. They're like, you do? I'm like, what's so wrong about
I
it?
like Justin.
Alright.
And like,
What does Justin say?
Humiliation.
yeah, that too.
Okay, look. So let me ask you that question again from the beginning. If you had a stadium full of people that were gonna pay attention to you, that were gonna listen to you, that you had captivated. Captivated means that they're gonna listen to you and they're
No matter what.
gonna like what you say. They're
But
gonna
when
pay
you
close
said-
attention to you. Hold on. They're gonna pay close attention to you. These people have their eyes on you. You have their time for the next hour. They're not gonna make fun of you afterwards. They're not gonna ridicule you. They're not gonna say you're stupid or dumb. What would you do then with that hour?
Tell them about me.
You tell them about Jesus, wouldn't you?
I'm still with the white coat.
Okay. Let me tell you guys something real quick. I did this thing at my school where I went up to people just sitting down, having lunch, doing their homework, and I asked them if they knew about Jesus. I asked them, I invited them to church. I told them that I'm a Christian, I told them what I believe in. And people aren't going to reject you right away. You don't have to be that scared to do this thing. Because when you do this thing, you guys got to remember that Jesus is with you. He's not going to leave you alone if you're there spreading his gospel. If you're doing what he asked you to do, he's not going to leave you alone and watch from afar and let you fail because he's nervous to be there too. You know?
But people are so like judgmental or
No, yeah, that's true. People are judgmental, but those are the things that you just gotta accept because when you talk to them about Jesus, you're trying to save them from hell. And what's more important, you looking foolish for a couple days or them spending an eternity in hell? Or heaven because of what you told them? You understand?
But then kids nowadays they're really bad too. Like
Yeah.
kids nowadays can't even say a sentence without having a curse word in it. And like I may have promised myself I was doing a curse as much as I did before, and like I've been really good. I only say like this one curse word a day, and that's gonna be 0 sooner or later. Cause I realized it, and I was like, that sounds really nasty. Like, and then like when I hear girls say, it, I'm like, you just said a curse word. You could, And they keep on saying, I'm like, you just said another curse word.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good. And then kids nowadays are like, oh, I'm gonna go get high. 420. I'm gonna go get high. Blah blah blah. It's like,
You get so dirty.
yeah.
What?
Like, I don't know, like drugs and stuff, like it's so gross.
Like people are just so nasty
I don't know
nowadays.
how people even find it weird.
I want to know
I'm
how
gonna close
high
up with
schoolers
this,
are
guys,
able to have
alright?
good education. How does that even happen?
I'm gonna read you guys an article real quick that I found on the internet. Okay? Pay attention to the article, guys, please. Okay. It says U.S. Air Force Sergeant killed Sunday in Napa County crash with suspected drunk driver. A U.S. Air Force Sergeant died in a motorcycle crash Sunday afternoon in Napa County. The suspected drunken driver reported Napa County Sheriff's officials Monday. David Robert Fernandez, 41, of Travis Air Force Base, died at a 12:45 p.m. crash on Highway 128 near Lake Berryessa. He and a friend on another bike were passing a van on the left when the van driver began a left turn and the three collided, reported the CHP. Officers arrested the van driver, Austin Meade, 28, of Oakland, on suspicion of drunken driving. Who was at fault in the 12:45 p.m. crash on Highway 128 near Lake Berryessa remained under investigation, the CHP said Monday. Fernandez and Michael Manalo, 31, also of Fairfield, had been riding east and were coming up behind the 1997 Chevrolet van. The two riders, both on Yamahas, began to pass the van. The driver apparently was headed for the highway shoulder as he began to turn left, according to the CHP. Manalo suffered moderate injuries and was taken by ambulance to Queen of the Valley Hospital. Meade was taken to the Napa County Jail. I found that article online, and this is what caught my attention, one of the comments underneath the article. One of the comments said, there's some lady that left it there, she said, "My car was the first on the scene. My boyfriend was holding his legs when he passed. Rest in peace, Sergeant Fernandez. Our prayers and thoughts are with his wife, children, and other family." So, someone's eternity was decided this weekend. Someone's eternity was decided, guys. I want you guys to think about this. Did the guy holding his legs, the guy that the girl mentioned in the comments, her boyfriend, did the guy holding his legs tell him anything before he passed?
I don't think so.
Like, I don't kind of get it.
Did the guy in the comments. The lady left the comment saying, "My car was the first on the scene. My boyfriend was holding his legs
His legs.
when he passed away."
Oh, the guy who
my
died.
I thought he was holding his own leg.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought
I was
too.
thinking, I was like, what?
I thought he was the guy.
So he got amputated.
No.
And he
Listen
was
up,
laying on the
guys,
ground, he was
listen
holding
up.
his legs.
Listen up. He got into a motorcycle accident, okay? And he passed away a few minutes later. The girl's boyfriend was holding his legs when the guy riding on the motorcycle passed away, okay? And it said, "Rest in peace, Sergeant Fernandez. Our prayers and thoughts are with his wife, children, and other family." I want you guys to think about what if that was you holding his legs
I
as that
would.
guy passed away. Hold on. What would you do, or what would you tell him in those last few crucial seconds of his life? What would you tell him while he was still alive?
I guess I would like not lie to him, but you know, you always hope that he'll be okay. So you're gonna be okay, man. You're gonna be okay. And be like, you know, God's with us, and like that.
I'd probably be freaking out.
Okay.
Like-
You're scared, yeah.
Like if
Makes
you
you
knew he was going to die no matter what,
Yeah.
and like this was your last chance
Yeah.
to save him,
Yeah.
it make your
Yeah,
peace
what
with
Justin
Jesus.
said.
Okay.
What Justin said.
What would you say?
Make sure he accepts God.
Okay. That's good.
I would freak out.
Alright, so I did more research on the guy in the article. His name. I did more research on him. This is what I came up with. David Robert Fernandez. He was 41. He served over 20 years in the Air Force, this guy. He was deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan. And he helped save a lot of lives while he was there. And this is also what I do know about him after doing research on him, is that he was a Christian. He was a Christian. And out of all the things that this guy did, out of all the things that he ever accomplished, the most important thing that he ever did was accept Jesus into his heart. He made Jesus his Lord and Savior. That was the most important thing that he ever did. The most important decision that he ever made, the most important accomplishment that he ever achieved was that. Okay? This guy in the story, was my uncle. I want you guys to wonder, what if he wasn't a Christian? If he wasn't a Christian, I wouldn't have the comfort of knowing where he is right now. And in those last seconds that he had, if he had any doubt, I know that in his heart he called out to Jesus. And I thank God that somebody told him. That somebody told him about Jesus. I want you guys to know that we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed this weekend. We're not guaranteed the next 10 minutes. We're not guaranteed to make it home tonight. You know? And we don't know when things like this are going to happen. You know, my uncle didn't know that this was going to happen to him. His family didn't know. They didn't know that he was going to die this weekend. It's so important for you guys to share the gospel with people. Whether you're in front of a huge crowd like before, or whether you're just with your best friend eating lunch, you guys can't let these opportunities pass you by. You can't let these opportunities pass you by. Because you don't know if that person, when they're done, when they leave the stadium, or when they get up from the lunch table, you don't know if they're going to die before they get home. You went out. This guy my uncle was the safest of motorcycle drivers that you could ever meet. He was in the Air Force. He was disciplined. He knew not to fool around. You can't let those opportunities pass you by no matter what it is. There's 27,000 people at HCC and I've only told 12 people about Jesus. There's 1,600 people at Layton. How many of them have you told about Jesus? There's over 500 people at Roland Park. There's over 800 people at Webb. There's almost 2,000 people at Sickles. There's more than 2,000 people at Alonzo. 40,000 people at USF. In Tampa, in our city alone, just the city, there's 346,000 people here. How many people have you told about Jesus? I want to tell everyone about Jesus, and it's true, you guys get afraid sometimes, you get nervous, and that's normal, and God understands that, but He's not going to leave you alone. to face those trials. If he sees that you're doing something for him, you think he's going to leave you alone? You think he's going to let you go and be on your own, and if you fail, he's going to back up and be like, well, idiot, you shouldn't have told him about me. He's going to be there with you guys, so don't let those opportunities pass. Can someone read John 14:6 for me?
Yes.
No.
14:6.
Yeah.
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
No one comes to the Father except through me. No one gets to heaven except through Jesus. Isaiah 6:8. Can somebody read that for me real quick? Isaiah's in the middle of the Bible. Somewhere around the middle.
What is this?
Isaiah 6:8.
Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send and who will go for us?
Oh, there's one.
And I said, Here I am, send me.
Here I am, send me. God's waiting for you guys to start doing what he told us to do when he left earth after he resurrected. He wants us to start telling people about him. And he's asking, who's going to do it for me? Who's going to do it for me? Which one of you guys are going to do it now? Because I don't have to call you guys to do it. I don't have to tell you. Jesus has already told you to do it. So who's going to do it? Who's going to take advantage of those 2,000 people that you go to school with every day? Who's going to take advantage of the 200 people you see at the supermarket when you go? With the group of friends that you have, because not all of your friends are Christian. Are all of your friends Christian? Every single one of your friends?
All of them are Catholic. Kind of think that.
So, I want you guys to take this, and I want you guys to keep this in your hearts, keep this in your mind. When you see somebody passing by at school, and you have lunch with a friend that you know doesn't know Jesus, even family that doesn't know Jesus. Alright, you guys can't let these opportunities pass you up. You gotta take advantage of them. Alright? And don't be afraid of what will happen in that moment, because what will happen when eternity comes around is more important. Alright, I love you guys. God bless you guys. God, if you want to.
Yeah. Sorry for your loss, man. We weep with you. I want to read a verse just to piggyback on what Matthew said, and to piggyback on all the comments that you guys said. If you want to look it up, it's in Luke 9:26. Luke is my favorite gospel, because you were asking, but you weren't, so it's okay. This is Luke 9:26. It says, For whoever is ashamed of me and my words, the Son of Man will be ashamed of him when he comes in his glory, and that of the Father and the holy angels. There's another version that says, whoever is ashamed of me in front of men, I will be ashamed of him in front of my Father. So what is that saying? What that's saying is that if you know about Jesus, you know what he's done in your life, you know what he's done for all of humanity, but yet you are ashamed of Jesus here. When we die, whenever that may be, or when Jesus calls us all up to heaven, Jesus says that he will be ashamed of you in front of the Father. Goes back to in Matthew, the same gospel, Luke, he says, depart from me, I never knew you. Is what Jesus would tell you if you were to be ashamed of him here. And just two more things, and then with that we'll wrap up. One, imagine it like this. You're a doctor. You're a doctor, and someone just came for their medical, regular annual checkup, screening. And you find something, and you're looking through their paperwork, and you're like, all right. And then you find a tumor. And you find a tumor in this, and then you do research on the tumor, and you find out that this person that you just treated, that you just saw, has cancer. Now you know that this person has cancer. Now as a doctor, as a licensed doctor, what is your job? To tell them. And then look for alternatives on how to beat the cancer. And how to save that person's life, huh? Maybe gamma radiation, or there's other types of chemotherapy, whatever it may be. Your job as a doctor, first and foremost, is, like Megan said, to tell this person he or she has cancer. Now, how does that relate to our story? You can look at it as we all have cancer. It's a deadly virus we have. This cancer is called sin cancer. Everyone has cancer. Your job is to tell this person they have cancer. You have cancer. And the only gamma radiation, the only chemotherapy that can save your cancer, that can heal your cancer, is Jesus. That's our job. It says, go and make disciples, teaching them everything I taught you. It says, John 14 says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to heaven unless it's through Jesus. No one is cured of this cancer unless through what I did on the cross. They accept what I did. Now, there was a couple of us who said that we were ashamed. Sometimes we don't want to be judged or point fingers or whatever it may be. That's what these little meetings are for. Like, when's the last time you invited a friend to church? Maybe you don't have to be the one who tells this person about Jesus. That's why we have meetings like this. This is like, hey, come to church with me. It's really good. It's really good. You'll learn something. You'll be impacted. Trust me, I believe it. Maybe that person's going through something in their mind, in their battle at home, and all they need is that word of encouragement coming from up there, or just somebody to come and give them a hug, which is what we do. And I know there's a few of us here who we do certain things outside of church, like Justin's not afraid to put on his football uniform. Are you ashamed of wearing your football uniform? Do you care if people make fun of you because you play for the Leto Falcons?
Nope.
Why?
What?
Why are you not ashamed because you play for the Leto Falcons?
Because I try.
Because you try. Right? Salma, why are you not ashamed to go to these comic conventions and dress up as in
It's something I love.
something you love? What if someone makes fun of you while you're wearing this costume?
I love it when I'm happy.
At least you're happy. Would you recommend someone to come dressed as their favorite superhero just to have fun in the midst of you guys?
I would ask them to come. Not just that. Doesn't have to be
Just to
level-
come, right?
level up.
Right? Just to come. Come with me to the Comic-Con. You know, we'll have fun. Right? You've been telling people about this Relay for Life. Why? For what? Because you what? Because you want to fight for the cause. You want to tell people, hey, this thing is real. It's killing people. You know, and I'm sure each and every one of us, we have this one thing that, you know, we'll go all in for. All in for. Whether it be makeup, shoes, games, we have this one thing that we just go all in for. What would happen, just think about it, and this will close, this is a question. What would happen if you changed that focus, just for a minute, for a day, and you just put it on Jesus? How much difference that would make? I'm not saying that any of these things that we focus on are bad, they're not. But if you don't treat it as it should be, it can turn into a God itself. And you'll end up worshiping the gift, or the actual event, or the actual entertainment whatever it may be. Just be mindful. Alright guys? Don't worry about being ashamed or humiliated, because there's people, I know people who make fun of people who go dressed up to comic book conventions. I know people, I was one of the people who made fun of Leto and their football team when I was going to high school. When I was little, I care less about Relay for Life. I didn't know anybody with cancer when I was little. When I was her age, I didn't even know about Relay. I'm not to say that I don't care about it, but just telling you guys that there's people who, right now, when you're doing something you love, they're still judging you. They're still making fun of you. Alright guys?
What's the movie so called?
So let's pray so we can go.
Don't whisper in our